All right, so successful day picking strawberries. I'm coring them now, and we're going to slice them up and dehydrate some. We're going to make some jams as well, probably some preserves and maybe a strawberry syrup. Don't mind the other half full of dishes there. Haven't gotten to it yet. But figured I'd show you this part before I start slicing them up. Hey guys, alright, so we got back from strawberry picking, and now I want to get some of these strawberries, the really ripe ones, in the dehydrator so I can make some strawberry chips. You can add them to yogurt, you can eat them plain like potato chips, or even put them in like oatmeal and things like that, cereal. I have a trick to slicing them that makes it much easier than just sitting there slicing them with a knife. You get nice uniform slices. And it doesn't really make that much of a mess, so check it out. So what I do is I use a tomato slicer. Now I like things that are multifunction, and this is a tomato slicer. You see the little tomatoes on the end there. And it's serrated on one side. So I hold it upside down like this, and take your cleaned piece of leaf, cored strawberries, and you put them with the large side down, where you take the core out, you put it down on the serrations and just slice them. Grab them from the bottom and finish. And you get perfect slices. Let's do another. The benefit to this is when you're drying, they all, for the most part, are equal thickness. And they look really good. They dry at the same rate. One thing about dehydrating, everything needs to be, fairly the same thickness. I can leave that here. Let me give you guys a close-up. You can see the actual slices. You can see how the slices are all the same thickness. Even the small ones are the same thickness. So we'll just slice these all up, put them into a bowl, and then we'll lay them flat on the dehydrator trays. Trick is to let the serrations and the little knives here do the work. I love to use my dehydrator to preserve different things. It doesn't work for everything, but it lets me, like for instance today, pick these strawberries. Now these were picked this morning and be dried and preserved the same day. They last for, I don't even know how long they last, because they usually don't last long enough. We end up eating them all. So I love using the dehydrator. This is a Nesco model. I'll show you the other parts of it as we go along. Not all my strawberries, but a good amount of my strawberries are already sliced, and we're going to start just arranging them on the tray. I do use a mesh insert on the trays. Just makes it easier to take them off. For smaller stuff I put the mesh in. Sometimes I also use the flat trays, the inserts as well. But I'll show those as we go. And try not to let them touch, but get them as close as possible. We do have a lot of them, so top. And here's, like I said, the screens that I put on, like a silicone screen, and then put them right on top of there. Alright, now that the dehydrator is full, we'll put the top on it. And this is the dehydrator we have. It's the Nesco Pro. It does pretty much everything. It's not that expensive, like 70 bucks I think I paid for it, somewhere around there. Now I put mine at 135, sometimes just below that, like 130, and I'll rotate the trays. It says you don't have to, but I like to do it. So I'll actually shuffle the trays, make sure everything dries, dehydrates at, at the same time. And then I'll check them in a few hours and see how they're looking. These here, depending on the moisture content, the strawberries, which looks like it's pretty severe, this will probably have to run between 4 and 6 hours. 700 watts, it'd be very difficult to do something like this using solar, in the RV. But this will be a permanent part inside the Class C. And what I'll do is, the nights that I stay in a campground that has full hookups, I'll do all my dehydrating, crock pot cooking I'll be able to do with the solar. But any major electrical stuff like that for preserving, I'll do while I'm actually, spending the night or 2 nights at a campground. You're spending the 30 bucks a night for full hookups. Why not use it to dehydrate, cook with the crock pot, cook everything that you can with the electrical, with the electric that you have available to you. Then having the preserved foods when you don't have the power, you have to cook less. Another thing I love to dehydrate is like my jalapenos. These are jalapenos from last year's garden. I use them all the time, mashed potatoes, soups, stews, everything. So a lot of my peppers I do, things like that right from the garden. This is one of the reasons why I'm looking for a community garden. When the time comes, finding garden space is going to be tough. And if I can find a community garden, I'll be able to still be able grow some of my own stuff. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll let you know how it turns out in the next video. Take care guys.